All right, let's continue our adventures with our Pokemon Cube. We're working through and building up our base to fossil cube right now. And we've been showing you guys a little bit of each of the colors, and now we're getting into our electric type. So electric doesn't really have any of the, three evolution lines in base to fossil. So let's kind of look through and see what we're going to go for here. We start to have a little bit, and you can see some of these cards are nice and beaten up. Very, very good. Well loved, well played with. But that's part of the fun of this old school format that we're going to be playing with the cube is it's okay if they're beaten up. So we've got two different versions of Zapdos here. Ours from like base 2 here, and it's got Thunder, Thunderbolt, very powerful, and Thunderstorm kind of help deal some damage to the bench, which would do the wave and those types of effects that exist. That could be really powerful here. Of course, we've got our Jolteon. We've had our EV line set up, so I'm going to just set that aside and put that with the rest of the EV lines. We're going to have 2 Jolteons in the cube to go with 2 Flareons and 1 Vaporeon currently. Maybe we'll do up it to 2 Vaporons, not really sure yet. Our next to think about is our Magnetons. Thunder Wave, Self-Destruct, very cool. Got our little friend Magnemites. And then we've got our multiple Raichus. Again, similar to our Zapdos style of play here, we're going to be going for a Raichu from our base set. So it's got agility. This is very nice. Agility is really good to help get some flexibility and protection there. And then Thunder, but be careful, this does damage to yourself. And then we've got our big, we thought this was a big Raichu. No, this is our big boy here. Raichu here has the Giga Shock, so choose 3 of your opponent's bench Pokemon, and this does 10 damage to each of them. And then, of course, it does 30 base as well. So we've got 3 different Raichus that we're going to be going with here. We've got multiple Pikachus here. We've, of course, got our promo. We're trying to add more of these in here. So this is our recharge. Search your deck for an energy card and attach it to Pikachu. Shuffle your afterward, which is really good. And then Thunderbolt is 50 damage, but you have to discard all the energy attached to this Pikachu. So we wanted to make sure we included this in here. And then we've got our jungle version here, which has got Spark for each opponent that has a bench Pokemon. Choose one of them, and this does 10 damage to it. So very cool ways to set yourself up. We'll just kind of put them here. We'll start sorting through our numbers afterward. All right, once we lay out all the cards. All right, Electrode. So we've got a couple different versions again. That seems to be the case with our electric type. So this one's got this buzz up. At any time during your turn, you may knock out Electrode to attach one of your other Pokemon. If you do, choose one type of energy. Electrode is now an energy card instead of a Pokemon card that provides 2 energy of that type. So you basically are saying, I'm going to give my opponent a prize, but I now am going to ramp my own creatures. Or you could use it and just sit here and try to just zap them down with Electric Shock. So there, we've got 4 of these. And then we've got our other Electrode. Chain Lightning, again, it's all about dealing damage to the bench. That's a lot of what the energy or the electric type Pokemon are going to be doing in this. So we've got this jungle version in here. And then all of our Voltorb friends. All right, speaking of promos, we've got Electabuzz. He's got the light screen here, which is a nice little bit of protection. Whenever an attack does damage to Electabuzz, you can be able to reduce that, half that damage to Electabuzz. Very nice. And then it's got quick attack, flip a coin. If heads, this does 10 damage, plus 20 more for each heads that you get. If tails, this only does 10 damage. So a promo one, and then we've got our others. Remember, when we were playing base to fossil, having Electabuzz is very nice. So let's set aside, I guess we can set aside our base sets. Any more base sets? One more base set. Should we set up? There we go. We'll set aside a couple. So this is the challenge now, right? Our goal is to try to be able to set up as many lines. Right now you can see we're missing 1 Magnemite. We'll have to get another Magnemite because I like to do the 4-2 split when we have 4 base and 2 evolutions here. This is a little bit different here. We might actually do a 5-5. I mean, that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Our goal is to try to get around 32 Pokemon, right? So if we have 5 Electabuzz, that's not a bad idea. And 5 Pikachu, 3 Raichu. I still want 4 of these. I guess we do 4 Voltor or 5 Voltorbs, or do we do this? This is, I think, what we're going to try to go for with our first draft. We've shaved it down to 3 of the base set electrodes, 1 jungle, 4 Voltorbs, 4 Magnemite, 2 Magnetons, 3 Zapdos, the 2-1 split. We've got our 5 Electabuzz, 4 of our base set, 1 promo. We've got our 5 Pikachus, 3 jungle, 1 base, 1 promo, and 3 Raichus here. This is set up at 30 cards plus our 2 Jolteons, so 32. I still feel a little bit light on the electric type. I don't know. I'm nervous about the electric. I am. I feel like there's got to be more we can do to help out electric, but maybe it's going to be a lot of base electric style. The problem is, you know, electric is weak to fighting. So you might be going for like some sort of electric psychic deck a lot of times and lean heavier into the psychic side and electric is your support. I'm not sure. Or you could do like an electric fire type, you know, especially with the electrode, and, you know, use it as energy for your Arcanines or your Charizards or things like that. We will see what ends up happening with it. But this is kind of the way that we're setting things up here. I don't know. I'm still, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what we add and adjust. But this is the first draft of it, right? Part of the fun of building a cube is you start drafting it, you start building it, and then you see what works and what doesn't work, and then you adjust accordingly. So this is at least our first round of setting up the electric stuff. But hope you guys enjoy this one. We're going to be doing more of the sprinkling in of our cube content with building this Pokemon cube over the coming weeks. All those videos are coming out on Saturday, as well as all of our other fun stuff. So check the playlist, check the videos on the channel for more fun content like this. But that's going to do it for us here today. Thanks so much for tuning and watching all, and I'll see you all next game.